Really quick turnaround between the game weeks, and now we actually have 3 different deadlines in 7 days. Game week 21 is just around the corner, and in this video I will take a look at the best possible free hit and wildcard team ahead of game week 21. Hopefully this video can be useful if you're only using your transfers. We'll take a look at some of the best options going forward. Let's have a look. So on a game week 21 wildcard, I would go for Sanchez as my goalkeeper. They have some really good fixtures coming up from game week 21 and onwards. Of course, there are some uncertainty about Chelsea, and Maresca has left the club. So if you think that Chelsea will struggle going forward, I think Jordan Pickford is still a really good option. On the bench, I have Dubravka. I know John Victor has played the last couple of games for Nottingham Forest, but I still consider Dubravka as the best bench option when it comes to goalkeepers. So on my wildcard, I would go for Sanchez, potentially Pickford, with Dubravka on the bench. In defense, even though the fixture is not the best in game week 21 for Arsenal and Gabriel, I would have him on a wildcard playing against Liverpool, so I'm not sure they will keep a clean sheet in this fixture, but it's not like Liverpool have been up to their best so far this season, so it might actually be a good fixture for Arsenal. He has the attacking threat, of course, he can pick up defensive contributions, and back from injury, I think that Gabriel is a really good option on a wildcard. The next player in defense is Guardiola, so this defense is actually a bit expensive, but I think it's worth it. I would have Guardiola in as well, priced at 6.1, selected by 10% of the managers. I think that he is the safest option from the Man City defense at the moment. The last player in my starting 11 is Tarkowski. I know that Michael Keane has delivered really good value for FPL managers, but with Branthwaite getting close to a return for Everton, I think that Tarkowski definitely is the most nailed on player. So priced at 5.6, so a bit expensive of course, but he can pick up defensive contributions and attacking returns just like Gabriel and Guardiola. So on the bench I have Cash, solid fixtures for Aston Villa coming up, and at that price he might be a good option. And I have Goodmanson as well. He is actually the cheapest starting player in FPL, only priced at 3.8. In midfield, I talked about the fixtures for Aston Villa. They have some good ones coming up, and Rodgers, he has looked good recently, so his ownership has actually gone up to 26.5%, so it's not a differential, but I think that he is a really good option going forward. In game week 21, they're playing against Crystal Palace, and they have looked really tired recently, so this might be a really good fixture for Aston Villa. The next player is Cunha. Big expectations for Cunha when Bruno Fernandes got injured and Mbeumo left for AFCON. He was their talisman. He probably will be in game week 21 against Burnley as well, and this is why I will give Cunha one last chance. So Cunha in, but I will potentially sell him really soon, but I will consider to give him the fixture even if I'm on a wildcard against Burnley in game week 21. Cole Palmer is in as well. Talked about the fixtures for Chelsea, really good fixtures, and he is probably still the first choice penalty taker for Chelsea, even though they will have a new manager soon. The last player is Anthony Gordon, solid option, good fixture against Leeds. Hopefully Anthony Gordon can do well in this game. The bench player in midfield is Devaney. He has actually started the last games for Crystal Palace, only priced at 4.3, so he is a good option to have as a bench fodder at the moment. So in midfield, Rodgers, Cunha, Cole Palmer, Gordon. I think that this will give some points in game week 21. So Cunha, he is probably on borrowed time in this team, but I really like the fixture in game week 21 against Burnley. But I would have a plan to do something like Cunha to Rice in game week 22. So Rice, he has actually been carrying a small injury, so he is a small doubt ahead of game week 21, while Cunha will probably start for Man United. So start with Cunha with a plan to get Rice in for game week 22 would be my advice. Up front, I have a couple of players that I definitely would have: Erling Haaland and Jared Bowen. I'm a bit insecure about Joao Pedro. He might be a decent punt considering the fixtures, but there aren't actually that many forwards I would like to go for at the moment, but I can't really find any midfielders I want more than Joao Pedro at the moment. So it's possible, of course, to go for a 3-5-2, potentially play 4 at the back. But I think given Chelsea's fixtures, Joao Pedro might be a really good option. His ownership is actually close to 30%, but this is mostly due to him being one of the most selected players in preseason ahead of game week 1. So his effective ownership among active managers is not that high. So at the moment, Joao Pedro is not a differential, but at least he's not someone that's actually owned by 30%. So Joao Pedro could be a decent punt given the fixtures. Jared Bowen would be in my team, and Erling Haaland, of course, he has actually blanked in recent game weeks, but I think that he should be included on a game week 21 wildcard. So that's it for my game week 21 wildcard. I have a couple of positions that I'm not really confident in, so of course not the best fixture for Gabriel, but I think that he definitely should be in, even though they're playing against Liverpool. When it comes to Joao Pedro, he can potentially be someone else, and Cunha to Rice pre-planned transfer. So not ideal on a wildcard pre-planning a transfer, but the fact that Rice actually is an injury doubt while Cunha is definitely a starter for Man United with a good fixture, I think this makes sense on a wildcard. But let's have a look at a free hit team as well. Game week 21 free hit team, I would go for Jordan Pickford in goal. Really good fixture for Everton playing at home against Wolves. On my wildcard, I had Sanchez because of the good upcoming fixtures for Chelsea, but on a free hit and game week 21 in isolation, I prefer having Pickford. On the bench, Dubravka, one of the best starting 4.0s. We have the option of going John Victor from Nottingham Forest, but Dubravka is still, in my book, the best option. In defense, I would double up on Man City and Everton. They have really strong chances of keeping a clean sheet. So Diaz, Guardiola in defense, and the double up on the Everton defense with both Jordan Pickford and Tarkowski. So all of those defenders have the possibility to pick up defensive contributions and attacking returns. And as mentioned, really good fixtures. So Man City playing at home against Brighton, Everton playing at home against Wolves. I think at least one of those teams will keep a clean sheet. In midfield, I would go for something like this. We actually have 4 penalty takers in this midfield. So Paqueta taking penalties for West Ham, Cunha for Man United, Cole Palmer for Chelsea, and Anthony Gordon for Newcastle. So Paqueta, a punt, only selected by 1.5% of the managers, but I really like the fixture for West Ham this game week, playing at home against Nottingham Forest. Next player is Cunha. He hasn't really delivered what we expected. Man United, they have had some really good fixtures, and they have a good fixture in game week 21 as well against Burnley at home. Burnley away, I'm sorry. So I think that Cunha is still a really good option. I discussed Cunha in my wildcard section as well. I think I would have Cunha in my team with a plan to move him on to Rice the next game week in game week 22, but I think Cunha is a really good option. The next player is Cole Palmer. Hopefully he can do something against Fulham in game week 21. Starting to get back to form, and we're not really sure what will happen with Chelsea. Enzo Maresca has left the club, but hopefully Cole Palmer will still be the talisman for Chelsea. Anthony Gordon as well, playing at home against Leeds. I think this is a really good fixture for Newcastle. Still only selected by 5.5%, so he is a big punt as well. On the bench, another really strong option in game week 21. Garner from Everton, really good fixture for them against Wolves. So I actually have a double up on Everton with Pickford and Tarkowski. Of course, if you're interested in playing another Everton player because of the fixture, it's possible. But with this team and the options available, I will go for Paqueta, Cunha, Cole Palmer, and Gordon in game week 21. Let's have a look at the forwards as well. Up front, a familiar name, Erling Haaland, the most selected and the most expensive player in the game. Has a good fixture against Brighton, so I think that he definitely should be included. I talked about the fixture when discussing Paqueta. So Jared Bowen, he is in playing at home against Nottingham Forest. I think if West Ham score, both Paqueta and Jared Bowen, they are likely to be involved. The last player on this list is kind of a player that has gone a bit cold recently, but considering the fixture playing at home against Sunderland, I know that Sunderland aren't that bad defensively, but I think that I have a feeling that Brentford will do well in this game playing at home against Sunderland. Igor Thiago, he has been a bit unlucky, especially in game week 18, the game week where he picked up the assist. Could have had a goal or two in that game as well. So Igor Thiago, he has dropped in price a couple of times. So would I bring in Thiago on a wildcard? I'm not really sure, but I'm interested in giving him another go on a free hit in game week 21. So of course, there are other options, so please let me know what you think about this free team in the comments down below. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this video and subscribe to the channel for more FPL content.